Hi, I'm Chris.
And I'm Wendy.
And welcome to the Toasted Marshmallow Adventures Podcast.
Woo!
Tonight, via Zoom, we have internationally touring comedian and TikTok star Tanyalee Davis with us.
Welcome!
Thank you so much for being here tonight.
We have 2 messages.
Oh, do we? About this?
Yes.
We're already getting questions
Yes,
about you.
we
Okay.
are.
Wow,
This
look
is
what you
amazing. Wow.
Awesome.
I'm scared to wonder what they're asking
here.
already.
Crystal Ruiz. Hey, I'm watching both from Facebook and TikTok.
Awesome. Thank you all so
Hello
much
from
for
Montana.
joining us. Wow. Cool.
Come on in, everybody.
Yeah. These are like your people
These
here
are
just
your
joining us.
people.
We're, we have 2.9 million followers. So
saw
Wow.
that.
So it's
Holy
increased
crap.
from the last number I heard.
yeah, well, and I just the last 2 weeks I haven't even really been on live because we moved. We had to get out of our rental house, so it's just been crazy the last 2 weeks. So I only started going live again the last 3 days, and then so we're on we're about 35,000 away from 3 million.
Wow.
Wow. That
Did you
is
get
cool.
on TikTok at the beginning? Did you know it was a thing?
It was a pandemic thing. That's what I was in the UK living in Norwich, England when the global pandemic happened, and I lost all my shows. I couldn't pay the bills, the rent. Luckily, being American, because I'm Canadian originally, was able to come back. Ended up having to move in with my parents, though. My dad and my stepmom, my fiance, and I had nowhere to go. We packed up 2 suitcases and ended up in Florida. And my friend, when I was in the UK, I was doing videos trying to, like on Facebook, doing 80 songs and just trying to inspire and motivate people to keep moving because I knew my mental health was going to, go down the crapper if I didn't, during a lockdown. So I kept getting copyright infringements. So my friend said, why don't you try TikTok? Well, I had no idea what it was. And first I tried it, I put it aside and it wasn't until we got settled in Florida, September of 2020, I did a video about the Villages, which is the largest retirement community in Florida. And that video went viral. I got over 1 million views in 24 hours. And I was like, I'm onto something.
Wow.
And here we are.
Wow.
Amazing.
That is awesome.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have
super
like
cool.
3 or 4 ridiculous things on TikTok, and that is it.
Yeah, we're not good at TikTok.
But you have somehow figured it out.
Yeah.
Well, you got to find your niche, right? Like, I mean, I'm lucky being a dwarf little person. I got the curiosity factor.
Yes.
I'm not a TikTok comedian. I'm a international comedian of 30 years before, I got on the social media craze. So I'm good at what I do. Plus I answer people's questions like, how do you wipe your ass? I did 3 videos on that.
Wow.
Because inquiring minds want to know. Yeah, well, I've got T-Rex arms and I got a long body trunk, right? So everybody's curious on how I wipe my chocolate highway. And I did a video about it, but apparently it caused quite the controversy. And a lot of people did not believe that my technique I have a stick that I've designed and I wad up the toilet paper and I shove it between the legs and I scoot. And people were like, nope, that could possibly never work. Apparently your mud whistle is not clean. And I'm like, no,
wow.
I've been doing this for 45 plus years. I'm,
Mud whistle. I feel like that's a new one for me. Mud whistle.
Mud whistle, yeah.
I
That's
love
a great one.
Rusty starfish, ham pocket. I got them all.
Oh,
That's hilarious.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being here tonight. Have you been to Boise, Idaho before?
I have never been to Boise, Idaho.
First time.
Had a few hoes in my time, but I've never.
Few hoes.
The lounge is amazing. You're going to love it. The people are fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good. So you've never met Jen?
No, so I'm at the lounge at the end of the universe, everybody.
Yeah.
Here near Boise, my TikTok people. Yeah, no, I'm very excited. I've looked at the videos that they post on their Facebook page. The venue looks really cool. They've got some great acts coming through. So I'm very honored to be able to get to be part of the roster.
Yeah. Jen Adams, one of the owners, is amazing. And just recently got Bert Kreischer in there when he was on tour. Yeah, he came to the open mic. So Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a pretty...
Just last Saturday
Yeah.
that happened.
Ooh, when I did my one episode on Last Comic Standing, it was the episode that John Heffron and Bert Kreischer, it was in Nashville, and I was on the show with them that night, and they were the only two that got moved on to the like sort of the next level, but I got to perform on stage with them that night, and it was televised. So I was in the one episode with them, but yeah. Pretty cool. That's the last time I've seen him.
Wow, that's cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah, we went to a show here, and the cool thing about it is one of the local comedians,
Jack Wheeler,
ran into him at breakfast. Came up to him, say, hey, I'm such a big fan. I'm a local comedian. I've been doing it for 8 months.
8 months.
He got to go up and do like 3 to 5 minutes at the show that night, and yeah, he's like the talk of the town right now.
Yes.
Yeah. We had him on our podcast last night.
Yeah, pretty amazing. Really cool.
Yeah, so he's a cool
I like
guy.
helping out new acts in new places as well. You know, I think everybody needs a shot. You know, and I think it's important for new comedians to perform in different places. Like I say, perform in laundromats, perform in restaurants, sports bars, nightclubs, strip clubs. You know, like you got to perform as a comedian. If you put yourself in non-traditional comedy club settings, it's going to make you a better comedian.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, definitely. And listening, I found something you did today. Speaking of that, you did a gig at a swingers club.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, in Las Vegas.
That was more than a gig, right? It was like
yeah. So what we did, it was always a comedian from LA. We set up this show at the Green Door, which is the adult swingers club in Las Vegas. And being a dwarf at a swingers club is like being a prized pig at a country fair.
Of course, that's a thing. Yeah.
Very popular. So we did a comedy show, and you would perform on a round stage that had a pole in the middle of it. So I stood on my chair holding on to the pole, and we had people on all these little loungers with beads, and it just looked like a porn set, basically, watching this comedy show. And, you know, of course, it's very laid back. People are heckling and stuff like that. Well, then after the show, because my friends at the time owned it, I was giving everybody a tour. Anybody that came to the comedy show got to stay and get a tour of the famous Green Door. It's 2 levels and it's massive. So I was going, you know, they have a golden shower room, they have an S&M. So I'm going around, get like a Disney tour of the Green Door, right? And of course, there's people that were heckling during my show that are now having sex. So then I started heckling them.
Oh,
yeah, you're not doing right. Come on, harder. You know, and,
you call that thrusting?
Yeah.
How do you like it? So there we go. Payback's a bitch.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Wow. So was that a regular gig for a while then, or did you just do it?
We did it like once a year. Yeah, pretty much Valentine's Day. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Wow, that's cool. So, so you are, is it 3'3" or 3'6"?
I'm 6. I'm thinking pretty soon I'm just going to be a head on an ass. At my tallest, I was 3'8". Then some of my bios say 3'6", and now I'm at 3'3" because of my osteoarthritis. I'm literally just, you know, I'm shrinking. My ass is going out that way, and I'm just shrinking. So it's getting fun.
Yeah. Oh my God. I think I saw some stuff on Instagram earlier for the Austin Powers thing. You were
the teaser?
Yeah.
Okay, Verne Troyer was dressed as Austin Powers. Is that correct? And you were dressed as
a go-go dancer.
A go-go dancer, yeah.
So Austin Powers Gold member, the movie, right? Or no, if you remember the opening sequence to the original Austin Powers movie is Austin running through the streets, getting chased by all the hot go-go dancers. Well, for Gold member, for the teaser, which is a clip that comes out in movie theaters 6 months before the movie, that's what a teaser is. It's like coming this summer, and they recreated the opening sequence to Austin Powers. They redid it with all little people. So Verne Troyer played Austin Mean, And I was one of the go-go dancers. And so we had a bunch of, the problem is they had a bunch of running scenes. And because I was one of the shortest dwarfs, they would try to put me ahead of the gang, and I'd be running my fastest and I was getting plowed over by dwarves, So they were like, okay, you're not in this scene. And yeah. So,
you just hit him?
You're an abusive dwarf.
Yeah. How do you get a gig like that? Is there a call out to dwarves everywhere, or?
Yeah, well, at the time I lived in Los Angeles, and there was basically every agency in LA was like, all right, here we go. Wow. And I was just happy to play a human, because when I did live in LA, the only auditions I seemed to go out on were for a blueberry for an IHOP commercial, an egg. I was all these inanimate objects, and now I was like, I'm an actual person. So I had a really cute go-go dance outfit, a little blonde hot wig. I was styling.
Nice. That's awesome. So, and then you are. Oh, I saw a picture of you too with Mattroloff from Little People Big World.
Little People Big World.
From what I understand, you knew him long before the show, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I met the Roloffs many years ago. I started going to the Little People conventions in 1998, I think was my first one. And because Matt and I have the same type of dwarfism, when you go to a Little People convention, each type of dwarfism, and there's well over 400, but the main, let's say top 8 have their own little group meeting during the 7 days. So all the diastrophic dwarves would meet up, and because of diastrophic dwarves, we all have average size parents. At the Little People convention, obviously we'll have brand new parents that are tall that have now this dwarf baby that they're like, we don't know what we're gonna do. Yeah. And then they come to our diastrophic, little meetup, and they see that I'm a professional comedian. They see people that are architects and doctors, and people in these, and we show, we trade secrets on, how do you wipe your ass, or how do you, I have a stick that I use to put my socks on, and where do you get your shoes, how do you do this, how do you do that? And it's a way of educating and giving peace of mind to parents of dwarves and stuff. Anyway, so Matt and I met during a Little People convention, and then he became the president of the LPA at one point. And then because he was the mouthpiece for the LPA, he can then work, with the networks. And then all of a sudden he's got a show.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you use his product that he sells?
Well, I don't actually. I don't have one. He's got them at hotels and stuff. There's step stools and a hook thing, and I don't know why. Wow. Matt, get on it.
I know what. Yeah, you're friends, right?
So I heard, and I think I heard Brad Williams say this before, that the Little People conventions, everyone's just banging it out all weekend.
Oh, well, there's a lot of dwarf on dwarf action. Dwarf on whatever action. Well, unfortunately, I've always been, because I'm the only little person in my family. I was the only little person growing up. I went to high school with another dwarf, but we got put together for everything. So you're roughly the same height. So it drove me crazy because I'm used to seeing, assholes and butts everywhere. But now I've got a pair of eyes staring at me, and I'm just like, whoa. Anyway, going to the Little People convention, I never wanted to go to them because I kept being told, you need to be with your own kind. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense to me. So it wasn't until I was I was married to my first husband, and we ended up going to a Little People convention. And I was just like, wow, not everybody is as outgoing as me. And a lot of the people feel like this is their one chance, the 1 week of the year. Dwarf Con is what we call it, Dwarf Con. And this is their chance to get it on like Donkey Kong. And next year you see them pushing baby strollers, and you're like, oh, convention, baby.
Yeah, jeez. Oh my God,
that's funny.
So you're Showtime at the Apollo.
Oh God, hilarious.
It's
actually not Showtime at the Apollo.
Oh, it wasn't Showtime.
No, it wasn't the American version. This is what there's
Oh,
Showtime at the Apollo. There's the American version, like the New
okay.
York Apollo. But my show is Live at the Apollo, which is a
Live
series in the UK. It's
Oh,
basically the biggest
right there.
stand-up show you could possibly do.
2.6
And
million
so,
views.
yeah. It was in front of 4,000 people, so that was my biggest
Wow.
audience to date.
Wow.
So
Never let your eye doctor cut up your cocaine. That is what I was left with.
every line starts
Yeah.
off really big and then gets smaller and
Yeah.
smaller and smaller.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not everybody gets
know-
that joke. Wendy.
It's crazy. When did you know you wanted to be a comedian? Was it early on? I mean, it must have been. You're 51, doing it
Yeah.
for 30 plus.
Well, I grew up in Canada, and so my parents got divorced when I was quite young. So parenting in the 70s was plunking your kid in front of the idiot box, right? The TV.
Yeah.
So I grew up watching American sitcoms. And also because of growing up in Canada, we had a lot of British influence. So I watched, Laurel and Hardy and Danny Kaye movies. And then, of course, Carol Burnett, Lucille Ball, Steve Martin, Robin Williams was like my, but I didn't know that stand-up comedy was a thing. I grew up wanting to be an actress, a comedic, because I was the center of attention, because I was literally the only dwarf of the village, sort of thing.
And an only child?
Pardon me?
Were you an only child as well?
No, I have a younger sister. She's 5.5 years younger. Yeah, she's tall. She got the height. I got the tits in the ass, so I win. But yeah, so I was the only dwarf, and I was always the center of attention, and I knew that my sense of humor would always diffuse the situation. So I really grew up wanting to be an actress, not a comedian per se. And it wasn't until I started doing children's theater and I met a guy in the production, and he took me to a comedy club, and he was terrible. He was crap. But for whatever reason, I instinctively knew what he was doing wrong. Wow. So he was like, you think you can do this? And I was like, yeah. And boom, January 23rd, 1990, Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. That's where it all began.
Wow.
Wow, that's cool. And so now I think I heard this story I was listening to a podcast you were on, and apparently this person, you were in kind of an act with them or something, but they dropped you 3 months later because you were doing better than them.
Oh, yeah, because that was the guy that got me started in comedy, because I was doing children's theater originally, and there was only 2 adults in the production, myself, and I was the lead. I was Perry the Penguin, and typecasting at its finest. And the guy that played the villain was the guy that I ended up dating, because he had a thing for penguins.
Yeah.
And so after I saw how terrible he was on stage, and he was like, got all cocky, you think you can do this? And I was like, yeah. Well, 3 months into it, I was already getting paid, and 4 months into it, he dumped me, and he couldn't clearly handle the competition. But it turns out he started dating a seal.
Wow. Interspecies dating.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So so you were on Dave Attell's Insomniac tour.
God, we just met Dave Attell.
Yeah,
in Salt Lake City.
Last month we went to a show at Wise Guys and got to meet him afterwards and take a picture. So it's pretty cool. We have our autographed
we do
poster over there,
right over here.
That we
he's a lovely guy. It's funny because I was just in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and I wasn't performing. I went to go visit a friend of mine who I happened to be just staying 30 minutes away. And Dale Jones is a very funny comedian. He was performing at the Comedy Cabana, and I hadn't been there in years. And the last time I was at the Comedy Cabana was probably in the early 2000s, if not the late 90s. And Dave Attell was recording an episode of his Insomniac show. Oh, wow. And I think I went there to go see Doug Stanhope, but Dave Attell showed up and was doing his special. So at one point, Dave, before the show comes up, and he goes, listen, I want you to heckle me. And I'm like, what? He goes, I want you to storm the stage. And I'm like, are you shitting me? And he's like, no, I'm going to do this bit. I'll give you a cue. And he goes, I want you to come yelling up on the stage. The thing is I wasn't mic'd or anything. So when the episode aired, you can literally see like the top of my head. That's it. And you can hear like a burr, 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 and him going, what? And so it, but then cut to 2-3 years later, he phones me up and he said, listen, I'm doing my show in Las Vegas and I want you to be part of it. I want to recreate that thing. We're going to make it bigger and better. It's going to be over a weekend. And it was we had a blast.
Awesome.
And a lot of fun. He's a great guy.
That is amazing. I would love to have memories like that. That's amazing. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
That is really cool. Yeah. But yeah, that was a great weekend of comedy. We saw Dave Attell, Ian Fidance, which I'm wearing a shirt right now, actually. And then the next night was Ari Shafir and friends. So we saw Ari Shafir, we saw Mark Norman, we saw Sean Patton, we saw Ryan O'Neal.
Doug Stanhope, though.
No, we haven't seen him live. No.
Oh, he's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's I haven't seen Doug in years. I think probably 3 times I saw Doug was in the UK. He's got quite a big profile over there. But he puts on a phenomenal show.
You lived there, right? You lived in the UK?
Yeah, I've been touring in the UK for 20 years and I lived in a place called Norwich.
How did that happen?
In 2003, I got contacted by a producer in New York who was putting an ensemble show together called the U.S. Comedy Invasion to take a show over to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, which is the biggest fringe festival in the world. Yeah. And I had already known about it. I have friends in Australia and friends in the comedian friends that had already done the festival. And I'd always sort of thought that would be an amazing opportunity. And here all of a sudden it was presented. You had to pay your own way. And, but the way I looked at it, it was an investment in my career. I was going to go. I was one of 13 people. I was going to go there and just give it the best I got because it's an international platform. Well, I was the only person of the 13 of us that got picked up by a UK agent. So I started touring in the UK in 2004, and I became part of another ensemble show in 2005 called Abnormally Funny People. I've been touring with them for years. It's a bunch of disabled people with one non-disabled person because he was our token non-disabled.
Right.
Oh.
It was a great show. And I just, then everything got snowballed in the UK and I was able to get John Bishop is an amazing comedian over there. He's from Liverpool and he's a huge star.
I saw that and I was like, who is this man? I'm so glad you said that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's gorgeous. Anyway, I've got a huge crush.
Sorry, Kevin.
He got his own TV show and he picked me to be on it. So that was my first official stand-up TV show in the UK. And then from that, I got picked to do Live at the Apollo, which is like, the biggest show you could do. So and then I've done lots of stuff since. So
yeah.
It's been a good ride.
Yes. We always love when we're looking someone up if they have a lot of shit online.
Yes, and you do. Yes. Yay! Yeah.
A resource.
I was like, I don't even know where to start, honestly, because there is so much. We could just go on forever. Yeah, you have. And I was trying to show Chris because we were looking at stuff independently, but I don't even know where I saw this, but which C word do you actually prefer? Would you actually prefer to be called? I feel like I know. It's a cunt, right?
Right. Absolutely. I know for those that don't know, I travel internationally a lot and people over there use the C word. Yes. In Australia and the UK, it's a lot more common over there. Yeah. And of course, I'm a woman. Plus, I'm a 51-year-old woman, so the C word, no 51-year-old woman wants to be called cute, What a bunch of cunts.
Yes.
That was the part where I died.
Oh,
that is so good. That's so good.
So I was looking around. Now, do you have a special out anywhere? I don't think I found one.
No, I don't, but I might have something in the works.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I have. It's actually a British film crew that is on their final stages of funding to come over and film basically a documentary on my life as a comedian. And in conjunction with that, I am going to be basically recording my current stand-up special, Tanyalee Unstoppable Me, because right now I feel like it is my best work in 32 years. It's all come down to this, and I'm super happy with my show.
Oh, awesome.
Yes, yeah, that'll be cool when that comes
out.
out.
Will
Boise see that bits of that or the whole thing?
Yeah. Oh no, well, I mean, my comedy is my life story. So every show, I mean, I have a framework, but every show has different stories.
Yeah.
Threaded throughout. So if you come to a different show, yes, you'll hear the same stuff, but it's all golden. But then you'll also hear different stories that you may or may not have heard before. So always something different.
Who inspires you comedically?
Well, I was a big Robin Williams fan. Okay. I mean, just his physicality, I loved that. And because I'm 3'3" and, I'm like, perform in very big rooms, and I'm very limited because I sit on my step stool now because of my my health issues and stuff, but I make the most of my gestures and physicality on stage, and I act out my bits, so it's very theatrical for the audience, and that's what made Robin Williams so fantastic. Right, you just never knew what the hell was going to happen.
No, ever.
No. Nope.
Did you ever meet him? Did you say?
I never officially met him, but I used to live in Los Angeles, and I lived behind the Mann's Chinese Theater. And when he got his hands and his footprints in the Chinese Walk of Fame, it was right after he did Patch Adams. Oh, yeah. I'm not a morning person, but I got up and I zipped on my scooter. I hauled ass down there, and he was just leaving, and the crowd had dispersed, and I literally gunned it between people, and the bodies flying, and I zipped right up to the railing, and I literally lunged myself up over, and I was like, ah! And he grabbed my hand and he shook me.
No way.
Like, ah!
For real?
For real. So he touched me. That's about it.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't get to say I'm a comedian.
No.
I love you.
Yeah. Oh,
you touched many.
Well, who did we... Oh, it was Auggie Smith that we talked to. Do you remember his Robin Williams story? He basically walked up to Robin Williams when he saw him. He said, "Hi, I'm Auggie Smith, and every time I see you, I'm going to tell you, hi, I'm Auggie Smith." I think so. He just remember his name.
And so every time Robin saw him after in that day, he said, "Hi, Auggie Smith."
Yeah, he did.
That's very clever. I'm going to use that.
Yeah, try it. Now, Kevin. Can we have
a background?
Yeah.
Well, we see his shoulder.
This, but apparently he's not.
He matches you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's wearing an Atari t-shirt.
You have to match the pillows in your home because
we're actually currently homeless. As of 2 days ago, our landlords, who were fabulous, they were selling their house. They gave us we had 2 extensions, but we had to be out May 2nd, basically. Okay. So we turned in the keys, and now we're back where it all started, on my parents' porch. We're here basically until we go to Boise, and then we don't know what we're doing. We're literally just going wherever the universe, right now the universe is taking us to a lounge at the end of the universe.
Yeah. So, that's where it'll take you.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, there's a couple shelters here.
I have gigs in Des Moines, Iowa the weekend after, or Des Moines, Iowa at the beginning of June. So, and then after that point, where it's a free-for-all.
Yeah.
So, are you in Florida?
Yes, right now, Florida. Yeah, Central Florida. Florida's shaped like a gigantic penis, and I live we're right in the shaft.
Right on the vein.
Living back with your parents, you say?
My dad and my stepmom. Yeah,
wow.
And it's weird being in your 50s, moving in with your parents.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
A little bit like, holy crap.
Yeah. So where do you want to go when you get a place then?
Well, originally we were going to move to Vegas. I used to live in Vegas, like I said, and I love Vegas, and I have a couple of opportunities for my own potential venues in Vegas. But right now, some other family stuff. I just lost one of my best friends to pancreatic cancer, who lived in Vegas, and him and I were supposed to do a show together, and we ended up losing faster than expected just last month, and so that was really crappy. And then the night after I found out about him, I found out something. One of my close family members here is quite sick, so we're just basically between Kevin's family is in North Carolina, my family's here, so. And my sister's in South Carolina. So right now we're just going to bebop between the 3 states and just figure when I'm not performing. And just see how it goes.
Is that rough? Trying to be like upbeat. Sometimes. I mean, I watched your famous shit story. So I mean, that is like the lower level. But like, if you're dealing with family stuff or life stuff, and you have to go on, how do you just block it out? You just.
Well, I have a great example of how Dr. Stage, we call it as comedians, if you're sick or whatever, or you've had some sort of, I found out about 30 minutes before I had to go on stage, this is back in the early 90s, that my 16-year-old cousin, who I was very close to, got killed in a car crash. And then I had to go on stage.
Wow.
So basically I was so pent up with emotion and stuff. I used that adrenaline on stage, and Kevin can attest to this. I have been throwing up like so sick as a dog. And then I get my introduction. I get up on stage, I do my thing. Nobody can tell. And then I get off stage and then I'm like,
wow.
Yeah. So it's just when you get on stage, something as a comedian, usually there's something that takes over. You just like the show must go on.
Wow.
At least for me.
Yeah.
Not easy.
Shit covered scrunchy and all.
Oh, yeah.
I took me to 3 shows straight from the hospital.
Yeah, it took me to 3 shows straight from the hospital.
Really?
Wow.
Oh, my God. And still performed.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
wow.
I mean, I try not to cancel shows. I mean, and if I feel like I'm physically doing it, and also it's therapy for me. That's. I got hit by a car, and when I lived in Los Angeles, I got run over. Like I was coming home from the Hollywood Improv. I was crossing in an intersection. I was looking to my right, and a guy came out of nowhere and just took me out. And luckily, I didn't see it coming, so I didn't brace myself. My scooter went under the front of the car. I landed on the hood, then the windshield. I got thrown 40 feet to the ground, and all I did was break my ass.
Wow.
Good. Yeah, and so that was a tragic event. But basically, I'm lying on the ground. The paramedics show up. They're like, "Are you?" And I said, "What the hell happened?" And they said, "The guy believes that you fell from the sky."
In my life,
because he didn't see me until he hit me, and then I landed on the windshield. So to him, apparently it was raining dwarfs in Los Angeles that night.
Oh my God.
Dropping ass first out of the sky.
Yeah.
God. Oh my God. So you use that, right, in your comedy?
Yeah, that was in the. I haven't talked about it in a long time on stage, but it's definitely one of the stories. You can't make that shit up.
No, you can't.
No, God.
The best stories are the ones that have actually happened.
Yeah, definitely. So is your energy just natural?
Yeah, because we don't. I feel like 2 of us combined don't have your energy.
Yeah.
Well, people ask me, I spend 2 to 6 hours a day on social media, like doing lives. So what I normally do is just put music on. We were talking about this on TikTok earlier today, weren't we? I put on 80s music, and I just sit here and I talk to people, and I've lost 25 pounds.
Just
and it's
moving?
because I sit here and I chair dance as I'm talking to people and answering questions.
Hand dancing.
I noticed that you look slimmer than some of your Apollo video.
Nice.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, I was a chunky monkey. Yeah. So anyway, that helps keep my energy up, and I'm a natural performer. That's where I am at home, and when I do stuff like this, I just
what?
Takes about 15 vitamins a day.
I take 15 vitamins.
Gotcha.
Holy crap. I can't even take one.
Yeah.
5. Good for you. That's amazing.
Jeez.
Yeah, I can't commit to one.
Yeah, I know. Okay. What were you saying there?
No, that was it. Just about the vitamins.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. What do we have next here? Oh, let me
Do we have any questions from the audience?
If they were coming in on Chris's side.
They were coming in, I think, at the
What is
beginning.
the hashtag Unstoppable Me? Because that goes way back, right?
Yeah. Well, okay. So actually, Unstoppable Me is not that. It's only basically since I started on social media, like TikTok.
Okay.
October of 2020. Because when I got on TikTok and talking to all these lovely people all over the world, and most of them are young people, and they always ask questions like, what are your biggest challenges? What can't you do? And I'm like, why are we focusing on what I can't do when I'm a 51-year-old dwarf with a university degree who's been doing stand-up comedy, traveling around the world for 51 years, scuba diving, parasailing, horseback riding. I've done 2 TED Talks. Like, don't feel sorry for me, because I have been living my life because I'm an unstoppable me. Right. And, it's a mindset, and anybody can be an unstoppable me. And so I talk about this on stage with my stand-up, because I think it's just so important to empower and inspire and motivate people, especially our younger generation now, because they're lost,
Oh my God.
We used to aspire.
Yes, they are. They're lost.
And if I can, with my life story and my attitude and my zest for life and my confidence, if I can inspire and motivate young people or anybody that needs a kick in the pants, then, I feel like this is my purpose. And we have 10 people now with their own version of this tattoo. This is my style, but we have 9 other people with their own version on their bodies of Unstoppable Me that believe that, nothing can hold them back.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow.
My size never held me back. So your gender, your weight, your race, your religion, your mental health status, your planetary affiliation, like, don't put yourself in a box. Right. Everybody can achieve their own personal greatness. So
yes.
Gotta do it.
Definitely.
So Eugene, who you're going to meet here.
Oh, yeah, at the lounge, because he's the MC of all the events there. And so you'll meet him. What did he say?
He said...
Eugene Basham, yeah. My baby mamas can't hold me back.
Oh, first he said Unstoppable Me. Yes, that's awesome.
He said my baby mamas can't hold me. So I believe Eugene has 12 kids.
He has a lot of children.
And I believe his wife is pregnant with his 13th child.
We just went to
like a Monty Python episode. She just
what we're saying is, do not look him in the eyes.
Yeah,
Eugene
they say you look him in the eyes, you get pregnant. Yeah,
it's a thing. Be careful.
Yeah, poked in the eye and get pregnant.
Yes.
Oh my God.
It's an old wives' tale, but it seems
to. Who knows? So where are you going after Boise?
Des Moines, Iowa, to the Funny Bone. My first time there as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I hear it's a good place. People talk about it a lot. The Des Moines Funny Bone. Yeah, I don't know.
One of my good friends, I call him my convention husband, because he's a dwarf, and I usually only see him at the little people conventions, but we haven't been to one in a very long time. He's married to a tall girl. I'm married to a tall guy. So they came to see me in Las Vegas, or he came to see me in Las Vegas when I was headlining at the Tropicana, and they live about an hour away from Des Moines. So he just called me tonight to tell me him and his wife are going to come for the whole weekend to hang out with us at the Funny Bone. So he is an absolute yeah. So have fun. Awesome. 2 dwarves on scooters taking over Des Moines.
Yeah. You're not gonna know what hit them.
Nope.
Can you tell us what spasticus is? And I don't know if I'm saying it correctly.
Spasticus, yes.
Spasticus.
I am
Hidden
Spasticus.
Camera Show.
Was a show that I did on Channel 4 in the UK. It was basically like a sketch show, but it was all handicapped, disabled people. And it was just basically different skits and sort of pranks and all that kind of stuff. At one point, we had all these hidden cameras set up, and I'm on my scooter, and I pretend like my scooter's died, and I'm sitting there, and I get off, and you can just see there's cameras like hidden, and I'm out in the middle, like on the sidewalk by a busy road, and I'm kind of like distressed, and all of a sudden, eventually, because they're British people, it takes them a while, came over and said, "Do you need some help?" And I was like, I just called somebody. And then in like 20 seconds, another dwarf in this little car that says, recovery services or something, pulls up behind me and comes up in front of me and hooks my scooter on and then tows me away. And he tows me to a garage so I can get my scooter looked at. And the guys are like, what the hell? And he's like, my mate, this woman needs some help. There was another one where I was Snow White, and there's another dwarf guy playing a pimp, and he had me on a street corner, and he was like pimping me out. And it was just a bunch of stupid stuff.
Is there somewhere people can watch this now?
Well, you just Google I'm Spasticus, Channel 4. Yeah, there's different segments. There's another one where I am wearing a pink, I look like trailer park trash, like a matching velour jumpsuit, and I, with a wife beater, and I got a cigarette, and I'm pushing 7 attached baby strollers, and I'm walking down in the middle of the high street of Middlesbrough in the UK, where there's thousands of people on a Saturday afternoon. There's a dwarf pushing 7 dwarf baby carriages and just getting people's reactions. And I was like, what do you expect? We always have 7, just getting people's reactions. They need a father, I was just getting people's reactions. It was really fun. So I think that one's there's an episode of that online.
Oh my God, that's funny.
That is awesome. Now, just a question that came to mind right now. Are there like little people, like exclusive like clothing lines, or
how do you get your clothes?
Well, see, each different type of dwarfism has their own physical characteristics. So what works for one type of dwarfism doesn't necessarily work for the rest, like achondroplasia, which is Amy Roloff, Peter Dinklage. That's the most common type of dwarfism. Well, they tend to be quite tall. I mean, they're anywhere from 4 to 5 feet tall. Right. My type of dwarfism, diastrophic, it's a recessive gene. We tend to be quite small. So clothes, they have much longer legs, much longer arms. Right. Diastrophic, my type of dwarfism, from shoulders to bum, I'm the same height as most women. It's only my arms and my legs. I got T-Rex arms and short legs. So where I wear women small in tops and in pants or trousers because I got a gigantic booty, I just cut the legs off, or I'll adjust the arms. But I guess there are some designers now that have started clothing lines for little people, but that doesn't mean that they're going to work for me, because my body type is way different than, the standard, if you will, of dwarfism. Yeah. So shoes are the worst. I mean, if there's anybody out there that, getting shoes custom made is really expensive, but there was a company that my diastrophic dwarfs friends found online over 10 years ago that were making Mary Jane style, but they made them down to size kids 11, but they made them extra wide. And I take 13 in kids double X wide. And I got 3 pairs and they've gone out of business. And now I had 2 pairs. And I just lost a pair of one of my bins fell off the truck. I had 3 bins of personal items when we moved from our house. 3 bins, and we lost a bin. And one of they had my 3rd pair of shoes in there. So anyway, brought it out to the universe.
Yes,
geez.
Yes.
Can we ask Kevin a question?
Yeah.
Can we see Kevin? I see his
camera
shoulder.
shy.
Can you want to lean in?
You can ask me. It might be dangerous.
I just wanted to know, from your point of view, what is it like being married to Tanya?
Or is it Tanyalee?
Oh, Tanya.
It's Tanyalee.
Tanyalee. Oh my God, I fucked that up. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
What is it like being married to Tanya?
God, that's a loaded question.
Well, there's so many things.
Yeah.
Tanya is one of the most amazing human beings I ever met.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, She has a heart of gold, and she tries to do everything she can for everybody.
Nice.
It's a very slow life because she walks a half step for every other human.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have to be a patient person with her.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
But no,
And I'm an asshole.
Oh,
is,
man.
but she's biased.
Romance is not dead.
She's the asshole I can deal with.
Nice.
So how hard
Puts
is it
up
with
with my
her
shit, I'll put up with
traveling? Do you
Yeah,
ever go with
see,
her?
This is the difference. Him and I are completely opposite. I mean, I've been living the gypsy life, for 32 years.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with him. We have a great love story. We met online in 1996. And he's from North Carolina, and he was a single dad, raising his son, had roots, a hard labor job and everything. And I'm, traveling around the world doing my thing.
Yeah.
And we are completely opposite. So he kind of keeps me grounded. That's why this whole homeless thing, he's not liking it.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Well, she says we're not homeless, right? But see, I consider homeless when you have a key in your pocket, you can take out and turn it and open it and go in and sleep in that bed.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
That's true, yeah.
That's
Okay.
right. So,
I can agree with that.
I'm in an uncompromised position right now.
Jeez, Kevin wants a home, Tanya.
all right.
Well, I
You're
wanted a monkey.
You wanted a monkey. I'm like, you got me.
Oh, geez.
Nice to meet you, Kevin.
Yeah, it's good to meet you, Kevin. Thank you for your input and insight.
Come on. He doesn't like to be on camera normally. That's why I was
Awesome.
Wait.
love
I'm
that.
totally disturbed. I'm like, I'm not nervous. I'm just trying to set up the logistics so I got the right lighting.
Exactly. It's a whole thing, right?
Make
I've screwed
these
up
guys-
lighting before.
I have no idea what's happening. Oops, shit, on my chat here, but I'm assuming how
yeah.
I haven't been paying attention to ours much either. So
We really want to meet you. Unfortunately, we're going to be out of town when
We're
you
gonna
come.
be in
so that's why we're
California.
jonesing so hard talking to you because, we have a family situation and we had to.
Yeah, I have an
it's
aunt
really
that
important.
has terminal cancer, and so they're having a family get together there, and so we have to go. So.
Yeah.
well, I know that's why I ended up in Vegas sort of about
stuff.
10 days before I was meant to go to Vegas because my friend texted me on March 29th to say, I think I've got a week to live. And I
Oh
was
my
like,
God.
Oh,
Yeah.
geez.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
coming now.
Yeah, so he lasted 12 days.
Wow.
But
Good
I got
for
to
you
see
for
him and say
going.
my goodbyes. So.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm actually bummed we don't get to meet you in
I
person.
know.
So.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be back. Hopefully I'll be back.
Good,
Right?
Good.
I really feel like you're going to kill at the lounge.
Yeah, the lounge is going to be awesome
it's
for
just
you.
an awesome place. Yeah.
Amazing.
We were
My
there.
dad said it's really pretty there too, so I'm hoping we get to.
Did your dad
drive
live
away.
here?
No, well, my dad's he's probably going to bed already. He's he's in the house.
Oh yeah, he is there.
Yeah.
No, they're in Florida.
That's
Yeah,
right. That's
no,
right.
Right. Yep. I'm on
it
the
is.
porch, parents' house.
Yeah, so the lounge at the end of the universe. You're going to be there on
Three
May
times, right?
19th, 20th, and 21st.
Yes,
Woo!
and you're doing 2 shows on
The 20th?
The 20th, is that
I think
correct?
7 and 9.
I have no idea.
That's
You
what
have
it
no
looks
idea.
like.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
We'll see. Yes.
Get your tickets at loungeboise.com.
Loungeboise.com. Yes. Thank you so much for being on the
Yes.
podcast
I
tonight.
so wish
It was-
we could meet.
Yeah.
Next time, you guys. Well, I really appreciate
Thank you
it.
so
And I
much.
hope my TikTok followers follow these guys,
Oh,
Toasted
thank
Marshmallow
you.
Adventures.
Yes.
Thank
How
you,
often do you
Kevin.
guys do your podcast?
A lot.
Yes.
A lot. Yeah.
At least a couple times a week.
Usually, we can record 2 a week, and they come out all the time.
We do
so.
a lot of the comedians that come into the lounge, which is so awesome. Yeah, we have some amazing talent coming through.
Yeah, we've
so
had some.
thank you so much for
Yes,
coming to
thank you.
Boise. Yeah,
You're very
we're
welcome,
very
you guys. And I'll
excited.
see you next time I come to Boise.
Yes, you
Yes.
will.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
Appreciate it. Take care.